All right. Bam. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's been not too long, actually. I'm actually a little bit I'm a little bit consistent this time. But today I'm gonna have a little bit of a different stream. So I'm still waiting on so if you might have caught 2 streams ago, I was working on drawing and whatnot, and unfortunately my pen tip broke. So I am currently waiting on getting that or getting a replacement, but that doesn't come in until Saturday. So now I'm basically I'm going to be working on some other stuff, not necessarily like directly OmniGear things, but it will definitely help. And this is going to be more tool stuff. So working on some game dev tools and things like that. So fair warning, this is definitely going to be a little bit more on the technical side of things, because there's not always going to be a visual identifier of like, oh yeah, this is like clearly the thing that I'm like doing and whatnot. I'll try to point those things out and such, but I do hope that this is at least a little bit interesting, and if not, good enough for some co-working and stuff like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna be working on some dev tools. In fact, I can like go through a rundown of like the dev tools that I have worked on and what exactly these dev tools are in general. But yeah, so that's the current plan. I also just now realized I need to have multiple controllers. So let me go grab one controller here. Yeah, this will work. I don't need too many. I'll also grab a PlayStation controller, largely because I want to make sure that that's working with that. Although for that, I do need a cable. I'll need one of these cables. But okay, so now I have a whopping 3 controllers and a mouse and keyboard, seeing as though I'm working at a computer. But that'll be useful anyway. So yeah, that's the current plan. And I guess I can just switch over and get into this. I've also noticed that the music for me is a little bit on the loud side. It has also been a little bit since I've shouted out Ben Burns. Thanks, Ben, for all the music. There we go. There we go. That's good for me. Let me know if it's a little too quiet on your end. But so we're gonna go ahead and switch gears. Whoop! Oh hey, look, it's my desktop and this Unity. So yeah. So this is definitely not a like, we're not gonna be in like super pretty land. Although I do tend to go a little bit more ham than I really need to. But once again, I'm working on doing some dev tools. So that just means that means that basically I'm trying to have it so that I'm able to bring like a set of tools and settings and whatnot from project to project. And the goal of these is to basically just have it so that it's like, if you ask me, oh, is this gonna have X, Y, Z feature? I'd just be like, well, no duh, it's gonna have that. That's kind of the goal. That's the guiding principle for all these tools, is to be able to be like, well, no duh, I'm gonna be able to support multiple controllers, or support like glyphs, like controller glyphs. So like it responds to the fact that it's a PlayStation controller over an Xbox controller, or a Nintendo Switch controller. I was like, oh yeah, well, no duh, it's gonna support all that stuff. And that's the goal and the dream. And the reason being is because, well, one, I really am interested in all these weird edge cases, but I want to be able to, but I realize that it's hard to support a bunch of weird edge case things. So that's why I want to have that just built in to the tools that I have. That way, it's just, well, no duh, it's going to support ultra wide layouts and things like that. Like that's the goal. So what I am going to be working on today, well, actually, before I'm going to do what I'm working on today, just to give like a really brief overview of like all the different things that are like all the different tools and stuff that I've done. I am basically, I'm going to be, I've been working on like various things that are like very generic from project to project that I can just be like, okay, I can just like drag this in and then now I have support for it. And that's kind of the goal. So like for instance, I have a split screen manager. So you can, I was also working on, I forgot, I was working on this blurring utility. Anyway, I have a split screen manager. So you can see there's one here. I'm going to click the play button so you can actually see this in action. But yeah, so this is currently like set up for one player, but I can just go in here and be like, oh no, I want to have 2 players. Now, bam, there's a second player that shows up. And then I'd be like, oh, I want to have a third. Bam, that's the third player. Oh, I want to have 4th. Oh, look. And you can see that like here, there are like, they're arranged vertically. So you can see like, oh, here's player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. You can change that. So right now I have like a custom one in there. So I can go in here and be like, oh, put it in a grid. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, like it'll adapt. So now this is like a grid, but vertical. So you might have seen this in like Donkey Kong 64, like N64 kind of games where the person on the right has a taller grid. So that is supported, or I can do horizontal. So now the third person on the bottom is really stretched out, or I can force it to be the same, so that you can have all 3 to be the same, and like you can theoretically have like a map here or something like that. But yeah, all of this stuff is like just it's something that is supported out of the bat. So if we switch back to horizontal, I kind of like that. You can go ahead and change like the grid color or the border color to being black. It doesn't really matter. And then it also supports aspect ratios, like different aspect ratios. So there's 16 by 9. I'm gonna just do this real quick. I'm already, there we go. Whoop. And then we're gonna go whoop and say for 16 by 9, it'll default to grid horizontal, which is what this is. But for, let's say 21 by 9, it'll default to just vertical layout. So if I go and change the aspect ratio, so if I shrink this down, it'll automatically switch to be a different layout based off of whatever the aspect ratio is. So this is really good for say that you had this is like an ultra wide resolution, or if you had a super ultra wide resolution, you'll have more room, like it'll adapt to that kind of thing. So yeah, there's these things that are just built into this split screen stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, of course I would love to be able to support all these things, and I find these things like super interesting to work on. And I also realize that there are people who do actually care about this stuff, but it's not necessarily a higher priority. But again, I want to be able to support all these things. So yeah, this is one of the things that I added. So this is like the split screen thing. There's a rumble manager. So I just have a, we don't need to say that. I just have a built-in rumble thing. Oh, clearly so beautiful. Look at that test rumble pattern. But I just have a built-in rumble thing to allow me to put in like custom rumble effects for controllers and things. So based off audio, whether I want to have it just be like a pulse, or like I have like a preset kind of thing, or like there's some other custom thing. It's just like built in and I don't have to think about it and stuff like that. And so that split screen thing is part of like what I am dubbing the tribe tools, because I'm the founder of a studio called Tribe Games, and I guess these would be the tribe tools. But the rumble stuff would, I guess I could also put that under the thing for like tribe tools. But this is based off of the phenomenal plugin Rewired. So a lot of these things so I have it like basically a library for rewired utilities. So Rumble would be or count as that. I have a rebind controls thing. So Rewired comes with rebinding stuff, but I have specific scripts that are made for just that, to be able to go in and add in some like add in specific things for like being able to make a graphical like a fairly like custom UI experience for that kind of stuff. So just a lot of things that are like that help ease a lot of the things that I've noticed that over the years I keep on remaking and making over and over and over and stuff like that. So there's all that stuff. There's application settings. This would be like change the resolution, raise or lower the volume of things like that. I have some tools for that and stuff. But okay, with all that said, I understand that I just was kind of rambling there. With all of that said, my goal is for today, I'm going to be working on controller management stuff. So let me go switch over to controller management. This is back to what this is. Anyway, what I am basically going to be doing is I'm going to be doing some basic, well, not basic. I'm going to be doing some like controller management things from like behind the scenes stuff. So in Rewired, there's a way to change some stuff. Oh, yo, hey, how's it going? Sorry. How's it going? I am in the middle of doing a huge diatribe about what these tools are. Oh, not that. What these tools are. So sorry for you entering while I'm rambling. But yeah. So today I'm basically trying to have it so that behind the scenes, when a new controller hops in, it is either assigned to a particular player, which Rewired does automatically. It can automatically like assign this thing to XYZ thing. Or XYZ player. So it'll just be like, oh, okay, so this thing was, or this controller was assigned to, is now going to be assigned to player 1, and then the next controller will now be assigned to player 2, kind of thing. I also want to have it so that you can change, or I also want to have it so that it just automatically says, okay, any controller that gets plugged in will always be assigned to player 1 by default. Or like there's this thing, there's like a concept in Rewired called a system player. So I can say any controller assigned to that, or like any controller will default to being assigned to the system player and stuff. So things like that, that's what I'm largely going to be working on doing. So, with all of that rambling said, yeah, that's what I'm going to be working on. So I have noticed that I've probably said so multiple times, but that's the goal. So the main thing that I'm going to be doing right now is having it so that inside, so I have this thing called a controller manager, and right now I have a thing that says assign to system player by default. And I want to change this to be able to assign to player 1 by default, or player 2 by default, or something like whatever player, the system player, or just say do the auto assigning that Rewired already does, and stuff. So that is the first initial goal that I'm going to be trying to do. And I understand that that was a lot that I just went over. Hopefully this will make some sense as I'm working on things and whatnot. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. But okay, with all of that said, now let me get to it. Okay, so if we switch over to this here, What? So here is my script for the controller manager. I already have this. I've already had this open. But with this script, basically what the thing that I'm going to be looking at and like expanding on is this variable here, which is assigned as system player by default. I want to change this to not be I want to change this to not just be a Boolean, but to actually be like probably an enum. To be like, okay, I want to be able to switch between just do the auto or like do the auto assignment or do the player assigned to player one or assigned to the system player, like to have like a drop down, because that would make more sense. And it would and like the part of the goal of all of this stuff, aside from the well no doubt I'm going to be able to support that, is to also make it like super easy for anybody to understand what all this stuff does. So yeah, that's the goal. And again, I apologize for rambling on for so long, but okay, so that I am going to, let's go in here and make a new public enum. Oh, enum. Ooh, I feel like I'm a easy as fast. Oh yeah. That's one thing that I really I really want to make sure is that I'm making all this stuff really easy. Even if the target like the target is me, it'll be a future me that had not worked on a lot of this stuff like recently, and I want future me to be able to be like, okay, I know how all this works, and then like is able to click on things. And hey, who knows if people are interested in these tools, because I do have quite a bit of tools, but if people are interested in these tools, I might also like put up these tools and whatnot. But that also depends on how interested people are. So okay, anyway, enum. I'm still trying to get in the right spot. Enum, let's see what kind of thing. I guess target player. Player assignment. Yeah, I like being verbose with my variables, as I have said multiple times in the past. But we're gonna say auto player and system player. I think that those three would probably work there, and then we can make a public target player assignment equals, and we'll just default to auto. Auto. Cool. And really, I think there's only one area. Yeah, there's only one area that this stuff, or that the original code kicked in, is here inside of the start method, and then when a controller is connected. So basically what I'm doing here in the start menu is what I'm doing, well, what it originally did was I just assigned everything to, like, if this was on, then it would assign everything to the system player, and I have a function that essentially just assigns literally everything to the player that gets connected, or that is already connected, and is registered by Rewired. So all the keyboards and the mice, or I guess the keyboard and mouse. I think you can only have one mouse, but multiple keyboards connected. I think Rewired supports that. Don't quote me on that though. I don't remember. And then any controller that is Rewired already detected, just add all those controllers to the system player, which in like what the system player is supposed to be, well, the way that it's set up within Rewired is that the system player is like, say that you're in like a multiplayer game, or say that you're in like Hyperdot. When you're in the splash screen, or like you're navigating around in like the main menus and stuff, you are technically the system player. And that's when you that's before you do the press A to start, or press A to join, and then like now you're player one. that's what the system player is. The system player is something like a general player that is able to interact with things before any player gets assigned to stuff. And that's just one particular way of being able to do that. You can theoretically have it so that all of the different things, or like system players are not relevant at all, and only player one is relevant, and like everybody's assigned to player one, and then you just press A to start, and whoever is the first one is assigned to things. There's a multitude of ways of being able to set that up. And again, this is the stuff that I'm like super interested in it, and I understand fairly niche topics, but hey, this is again me exploring more of that stuff on stream, more of the things that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm really interested in these niche things. But yeah, again, sorry. And if it's like super confusing and I'm talking way too much, I do apologize. But this is the stuff that I'm super nerdy about. But also, hopefully, while I get started on doing things, this will be a rather chill stream. Okay, so here, what I'm basically gonna need to do is, instead of doing an if statement where it's like if it's this, assign do the assign controllers to the system player, I'm basically gonna have a switch statement. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just gonna so one way is do a switch statement and switch from, and look at the player assignment variable that is available in the editor. And if it's auto, don't do anything. So technically I don't have to have this auto thing. I'm just gonna have this here just for clarity's sake. If it's the system player, do what we did before, which is assign all players to system player. Cool. And then if it's a particular player, I need one more variable. Well, I need one more, oh no, wait. I need one more variable to allow the system player stuff to work. So I need to get player. So here, player target player equals 3 input players dot get player, and then I get a player ID, and this is where I would need to get target player number or no, index. Okay, hold on. Got to figure out the struggle of naming variables. Target. Well, okay. Let's go up here. Public. Target. Oh no, not target. Int is, I guess it would be player assign and number. Ooh, yeah. Equals 1. And I think I've said this in the past, but the nomenclature that I normally use is because it gets really confusing to be like, oh yeah, player 1 is technically 0, like all that stuff. The nomenclature that I try to use is player index is from 0, 1, 2, 3, and then player number is like the thing that you would associate, like, oh, I'm player number 1, 2, 3. So when I have player number, that means that it starts from 1 onwards. And then I'll just convert these things into indexes by doing the -1. Yeah. Oh, naming variables. Yeah, one of the hardest parts of programming. Yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing trying to figure out like, oh, okay, what's the best way to name this thing? Okay, target player there. So I think this should work. But what I'm basically doing is saying, all right, if if the dropdown says, hey, assign all players to a particular player number, I should be getting that actual player, the like rewired player, that player, and then say, hey, assign all these controllers to that. And that should theoretically work. Theoretically. And then we'll deal with this second part after. Although I should probably deal with it now. Well, we'll see. Okay, so there we go. Oh, there we go. Cool. So we got in the controller manager, now there's this drop down that says player assignment, and it's just auto. And then if I click player, it'll say player and system player. So cool. That is what I want. So right now, if I say auto, then rewired just does its thing. It'll just say, okay, you're being assigned to player 1, you're being assigned to player 2, and I don't have to mess with any of that stuff. That's the brilliance of rewired, is that it does a whole bunch of controller management stuff without me having to deal with all the controller management stuff. But if I wanted to have a specific player, I can say specific here, I want you to assign a player 1 to whatever. And here I can like change the number. I actually kind of want to make this a slider, largely because it would be easier overall to just be like, oh yeah, I want to assign this to player 1, or I want to assign this to player 2. But theoretically, you could have like 8 players, or you can have 12 players, or an infinite amount of players. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with the easier slider thing. It's really easy to switch between. It's just go in here and say range from 1 to 4. Bam. Save that, and then if I go back here, wait for this to load. There you go. Yeah, you can see player 1 through 4. And so that's like super easy to be like, oh yeah, I want you to assign this all to player 4 or all to player 1 or something like that. I don't know what I'm gonna need everything to be assigned to player 3 specifically, but in the case that it needs to do that, hey, I have support for it. And I can get rid of this after I test the other stuff. I also realized none of these controllers are plugged in, / I need to plug in the PlayStation 4 controller. That one requires me to unwrap this cord here. So 1 second. Oh, this also showcases another one of my tools, which is you can see a bunch of like, right here you see a bunch of categories and stuff, and a bunch of like controls. And one of the things is that I'm now like, I'm able to do some inline controls, so you can see like the it says like space is jump, or D is move horizontal, all that stuff. But it also doesn't activate all these other things. It doesn't activate all these other things if I were to say like, since space is jump, but it's also submit and things, these are all disabled. If that makes sense. So like I can say, oh, press space to jump, but don't do the submit thing, or don't do the take a picture, and stuff like that, if that makes sense. Anyway, let me plug this in. 1 sec. Okay. Whoop. Wires. I really don't like wires. That's one thing. If you're around me while I'm working, it'll be really apparent that I don't like wires. Okay. Oh, map switcher at start is there's a null reference. I'll look into that a little bit later. Okay. So now this is plugged in. Cool. There we go. You can see at the bottom it's updated. So yeah, so this is not player 1, I don't think. I think this is player 2. Oh no, that's okay. Oh, it's system. I haven't joined. Right. Okay. So yeah, I'm moving this around, and you can see that one, it updated all the glyphs and things, but two, like me moving it around, it's not moving the UI horizontal or UI vertical. It's only moving the move horizontal and move vertical, which is the dope part. But yeah, I can switch between the categories, and now it's like, okay, now this is being activated, so I can move the horizontal and vertical and whatnot. Or I can change the layout. And up here, if I change the layout, there's default where run is like clicking in the stick, as you can see. And then simplified is to run, you press the triangle or the square button to do that. Yeah, or custom is whatever, like let's say that you had a whole custom layout that you had, that you wanted. Then you can have jump and crouch be this, or and run be these things. This is more of like a Ghost of Tsushima layout. I think, because I think jumping is, ooh, I don't know. I don't think jumping is L3 in Ghost of Tsushima. I think that's still X. Anyway, or cross. Anyway, Southpaw, look at all that. Look at all those tests. But yeah, as you can see, this all got assigned to, ooh, oh wait, let's go double check. Here, yeah, this all got assigned to player one. So if the real test here is that if I turn this on, this Xbox controller on. Oh, one other thing that I've noticed is that this, what is it? USB hub that I'm using. The first time that you like activate a thing in a while, it always like disconnects and reconnects. So I had to reconnect that stuff. It's weird in that way. But anyway, so we have the what you call it now here. I've lost it. Okay, we have the PS4 controller here. Now if I use the Xbox controller, ooh, it is not updating. So I have this and it's hooked up there. Oh, it's not updating because I did the thing that I said I was I needed to do. So this thing that we did up here, this happens on start. So this happens like right away. Right away when the game first starts. Hence start. What I need to do is to go in here and basically do the same thing, except it's a different function that I'm calling here. And I need to, and this is when a controller is connected. So I need to go ahead and add that. So we'll get rid of this. And this is where like, I could theoretically make this a little bit neater. And I might do that in the future, but I don't think that I'm gonna do that right away. Anyway. So, yeah, I'm gonna copy this, except I'm changing the assign all controllers to just assign one. Assign controller. Ooh, do I only have, oh yeah, no, I can assign controller to player. I don't have one of those. Okay, well, good to know. We'll at least do this. Okay. Oh, I don't. Oh, that's what's going on. Like, why is this freaking out? There. Assign controller to player. Well, let's look at what I did for assign system players. Oh no, that's all. Oh, I just have. Oh, okay. Okay, well that's easy then. So what I need to just do instead is go re-input dot, no, just target player. Target player. Add, no, controllers dot add controller object. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong. Ugh. This is part of the reason why I'm like, oh, I kind of want to abstract this. But I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, it's a player. I guess I don't actually need to do that. So I'm going to say target player dot controllers dot add controller. The controller is object. So that's the thing that is passed in here. This is an argument here that will have the controller in question that was connected. And then remove from other controllers, yes. Just in case that is the case. So what will happen when the controller, like say that the controller gets connected thing, it'll check to see if this controller was like previously assigned a player. So like say this was player 3 and then you suddenly get disconnected for some reason, and you had to reconnect, like you ran out of batteries or something. Well, then it'll check to see, oh, this was previously assigned. We'll just put you back at player 3. And then it'll not do any of this stuff. If it wasn't previously assigned, then it'll say, okay, well, then let's go and do all this stuff. And theoretically, it should be assigning this to the correct player. Cool. All right. Okay. Oh, I can get rid of. Let me get rid of this Boolean. Also, taking a drink. Gotta hydrate. Okay, so I'm actually going to disconnect the PS4 controller because it's way easier to connect and disconnect a PS4 controller that is wired versus doing the Xbox. So now we have the player one. So that's the keyboard and whatnot is assigned. Keyboard and mouse is assigned to that. Sweet. If I move the Xbox, there we go. Xbox stuff is assigned correctly. So this is the Xbox controller glyphs. By the way, all these glyphs are from Fingens. If you are familiar with my game that I worked on with my brother and a friend. But anyway, so yeah, so that's working. So now the moment of truth is, if I plug this in, is this going to be player 1? All right, if I move this, yes, it is player 1. Okay, so that totally worked. So if I were to, I'm going to open up these other things. So I have these other test things, so you can see, oh, I don't need this. You can see player 1 through 4. Let's switch this to that so you can have a better view. Player 1 to 4. Okay, so you can look at all this. Ooh, oh, I was going to test something and then I realized, oh, I didn't switch this. So I want to test to see if player 2, if I can assign player 2 everything. Cool. This has the stuff, and yeah, I am changing player 2's. By default, I'm changing this. It is changing that correctly. It is not showing the glyphs, which is a problem, but at least it is the right. It is still they're being assigned correctly. I'm assuming that something else broke. So I'll look into that. But now if I look at this, yeah, this is player 2. Sweet. Wow, that was way easier than I thought it would be. Okay. Well, okay. Well, that was easy. So, from there, there's one thing that I could do, which isn't super necessary right now. But we'll see. Because I do need to use the restroom real quick. But before I do that, but yeah, there's one thing I could do, which is I can have this like change based off of whatever you select. So if it says auto, you don't see the player assignment number because that's not relevant to you. If it's system player, you also don't see it because that also is not relevant to you. It's only when you click player that I could do that. But we'll see if I really want to do that right now. But I will be right back. I need to use the restroom. So BRB. All right, and I'm back. Hey everybody. I guess I should switch back over to this. I don't think that I'm gonna do the editor thing because it's not super necessary right now. And I am more interested in something else. So bringing up my Trello. So I have like a bunch of things planned that I want to do. These are like all the different tools that I want to try and add. But one of the things that I want to do is doing a better like joining script or like thing to be able to detect like, oh, okay, I want to have everybody press this or like press the start button to begin or whatever, and have that be super easy to implement and whatnot. So I think that's what I'm going to work on. Next. All right, so we are gonna go in here and so I don't think that I have, I don't have like a thing. Yeah, I guess I have a press to join, but that's not the thing that I'm trying to work on. So I'm gonna make a brand new canvas. This canvas is gonna be fairly boring. Oh, let me switch to, oh yeah, it's on auto. Basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a do I have a thing? I'm gonna have a prompt that says like press button to start or whatever, and then like press button to go back, and it's just like a super generic prompt, and then any button or any player or whatnot should be able to press these buttons, and that's what I'm trying to do to make this really generic. So I'm just gonna go in here, let's do press. Oh, I don't have I have nothing here. Before I do that, I'm just gonna go and grab this press to join thing. So let's make an empty game object. It's just an empty game object that has this test button prompt tests. Sure. These don't have to look all that nice. Oh, I don't need that. I need this. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna make this really big. Oh. Oh, there we go. And we're gonna make this size larger. Press blah to join. And what I'm gonna do is I don't want to make this a system thing. So this inline sprite script is basically me just having it so that I can then add in like a rewired action inline. That's why there's this this circle here, and it's saying this is saying press, and then the action is join, and it's looking for specifically the system player, the system player's join button to join. So it'll display whatever the system player, that controller is glyph, that stuff. But I'm not looking specifically for the system player. I'm looking for any player. So I can just say press action to join. And I also need, I believe I will need to change general. Yeah, there we go. I'll need to change this. So instead of join, I'm gonna just make a start and cancel. Oh yeah, there's submit and cancel. So I'll do start, and, quit. I'll do quit. Cool. And then in rewired, there's these things that are like gamepad templates, and I'm basically gonna just go in here and be like, all right, the template for starting, we'll do the bottom, the A button. So that's the generic action button for the bot, or for like a gamepad would be the A button on an Xbox, or the cross button on a PlayStation controller, or the B button on a Switch controller, which I do not have my Switch controller next to me. So anyway, that is going to be the start button, and then the quit button will be B, just because it's easy. Okay, so done. And that's all I really have to do there. All the other things are already set up. I just need to change this from saying join to start. Now, if I press play, oh, I realized the keyboard does not have a assignment, so I'll need to do that. Let's go to this, pressing, do a new one. For this, I'll just say enter. Assignment is start. And then do a new one. We'll do escape is general is quit. Just a test. This is all just testing. There's kind of a reason why I don't have, if you're familiar with Unity, I could be making all these things prefabs and stuff. But part of the reason why I don't have like everything be a prefab that I can just bring from scene to scene, example, is because I want to make sure that like, oh, this is a brand new instance. This is a brand new project, in air quotes. So I'm trying to have it so that like, that's not a thing that I have to worry about, or a thing I'm like, oh man, I have a whole bunch of dependencies that I need to add in and stuff. It also gives me a good first time experience test. Anyway, so now this should work. Now if I move the mouse, or if I just have the mouse, yeah, press return, or X or A. Cool. And then I'll also do one more, which will be press action equals, what is it? Quit. Quit to quit. I'll do that. I should probably change this from join to start. Cool. And essentially what I'm gonna do is I could probably do an easier test. None of these have to look good. They just have to exist. Press to start. Press to quit. It's just gonna switch between these two prompt names. That's all it's gonna do. Because I feel like, just having it so that it just switches between these two things should be easy enough for me to be able to test things. So let's make this, let's make a custom script. So I gotta remember, oh yeah, examples, and then this is the controller manager. Some scripts, and I'm just gonna make a generic controller prompt script. I get the controller prompt, sure, why not? Again, that is not the main focus. Oh, I have two instances open. Why is that? Well, now I gotta wait. Anyway, how's it going out there? Hope everything's going well. I know at the time of this live stream we're at the dawn of Legend of Zelda, and I know a lot of people are ready to play that. Me personally, I'm not super interested in playing, but I know everybody's super interested. I'm super happy that everyone's like, ah, yeah, there's a game out there, you know, the new Zelda. But yeah, it's always super impressive what Zelda does. Okay, so we got this. I'm gonna close this one, but we got this, and in here, basically what I'm gonna do. Oh yeah. Oh, you're Hyper Legend. Oh, awesome. But yeah, basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch between these two prompts. That's all I'm gonna do. Did you replay Breath of the Wild before Tears of the Kingdom's coming out? All right, we're gonna go public. It really doesn't matter. So we'll do a game object, start object. I'll do start prompt. Okay, prompt, public game object, quit prompt. And then we'll just have a private bool has quit. This is like the most basic form. Public void toggle prompt. I'll do like a value. There you go. And basically what I'm doing, value equals not value. So value equals the opposite of what it is. And then from there, if start prompt dot set active. So if you have quit, do the opposite of has quit. If you have quit, do that. Quit prompt set active. If you have quit, yeah. There. Yeah, I think that should do it. Okay. Oh, I didn't have to switch, just simple hype to I say playing. Awesome. Yeah, that's largely where I'm at. Where I'm hyped that like everyone's super excited because I know this is, these are events. And I'm super excited for everyone's enjoyment of Zelda, of how I have to wait here killing in time. There you go. So we're gonna go drag in, bam, just do that. Here's the start prompt, here's the quit prompt. So to test this real quick, I'll just make a button. It's a beautiful button, but this button will toggle. Oh, did I? No, I probably, yeah, I did that right thing. Controller prompt, toggle prompt. Yeah. Okay, and I'll duplicate that, sure, and have this one be there. Not pretty. These buttons are gonna last. so yeah, there's this one, and then there's this one. It is not toggling though. Sweet. That's what you love to see. Why toggle them. Value. Let's look. Yeah, they're different ones. Toggle prompt. Value equal. Oh. Has quit equals just the value. Oh, okay. Because I am just explicitly doing the value. Okay. No, I gotta get rid of this while this is going. Okay. So now if I press the button, there it is. That's largely all I wanted to do. So I just want to have it so that it toggles between those things. So sweet. So that's nice. Ooh, I just realized I don't think that I don't have the thing that I was working on from before. Yeah, I don't. Okay, let me go. One sec while I go search for the thing that I was working on from before. Well, while that is happening, what are y'all up to? Just chilling, getting some work done. I know that this is later than I typically stream, so yeah, just curious what y'all are up to. Okay, where? There we go. Okay, do this. That. Of how much I am really trying to find these things. Working late on stuff. Procrastinating. I know the feel. I know the feel. I do that all the time. Are you a night owl / like, is this normally when you're like the most productive, or is it purely just you felt like procrastinating? Either way, Totally fine. I do the same thing. I can't seem to find where I had that stuff. Oh, ooh, after 9 I thrive. Nice. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Where I am very much a night owl, so I'll be like, oh, okay, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, now I'm at peak performance. Time to work. That's so weird. I can't seem to find the things. I know that this is providing the most interesting of work, or of streams, but I'm trying to find the work that I did earlier that would speed along this process. And that's kind of where I want to be, is to be able to speed along this process. No, it's not in there. It might be in there. Ah, there it is. Maybe. Yes, there we go. Okay. So I was working on this. I was working on this other script that I will now drag in here, which is, yeah, I'm looking through an old project. So I was trying to find where exactly this thing was, but I have now found it. Here we go. Don't need that. So basically I have this thing here, and then I also have an editor, a custom editor script, which I'll drag in after it loads. After it loads. Okay. There. Whoop. So theoretically, this should be doing, this should do what I am looking for doing. But I do want to like button up the script a little bit. But so what this should be doing is, if I drag in this menu input thing, yeah, there we go, it's working. What I am basically doing is I'm saying, okay, I'm looking for a target player or a system player, or do all the players, or just all controllers that are connected. They don't even have to be assigned to a player. I want to do all the players, and I can say based off of an action, or based off of like an action type. So I want to have this be a button. I could do an axis, but I want to do a button. When you press the start button, do something. And I have this drop down that shows off events and such. And what that does is I can have it so that, like in this case, if you press that action, go in here, change the controller prompt, and say you press the start button, then that means you have not quit, so make it false. And then I can duplicate this. I guess I can paste as a new thing on here. Is quit. Yeah, and then I say, okay, you have quit. So theoretically, this should work. So, okay, I'm on here, press start. No, it doesn't work. Ooh, it might not work because I might not have the rewired stuff set up for all the players. So system player has a general. These do. Oh yeah, it does. Ooh, then that's not good. Yeah, it does have general here. We will. Okay, here's the plan. We will use the thing that I made earlier today. The system will assign everything to the system player, and then we'll see if that works. And we'll just say system player, and oh geez, and we'll say system player. Okay, so start. 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 Nope. No. Oh. Okay, I have them backwards. Did I have literally the prompt backwards? Has quit. If you have quit. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, it's it doesn't matter. I'm gonna flip these two around. Yeah, I totally have these backwards. Okay, whatever. Because I had to press circle in order for it to start. Bam, bam. Okay, so that's working. Now if I switch this to all players. Oh wait, I'm not assigned the correct things. So let's assign everybody, just auto assign people. By default, it shouldn't auto assign it to the system player. It should only assign it to a player. Press A, or no, okay. There is your problem. It's not working. Oh, because I said system player. Oh, because I changed that in code or in playtime. Okay. Now if I do that. Okay, now it's working. Sweet. And that was kind of the goal there. Another fairly easy one because I've done like the work beforehand, but I can show the stuff off because that does seem a little bit anticlimactic, and there are some things that I still want to go in and update. But anyway, essentially what this script is doing is it's checking it is checking to see, like, based off of whatever target input that you want, which you saw me being able to change all that stuff in the editor. It is just going in and checking the input of that player to then be like, oh, did you press this thing? Yes. All right. Send where you go. Send a on button down event that you can subscribe to. That is essentially what this is, and you can just change whichever one, whichever input type that you're looking for up here and stuff. So sweet. Wow, that also was a lot easier than I was expecting. So what I could do now is probably the one that's going to take the longest and is the scarier of the things. So I'm gonna actually do that because I've been flying through these. So you might have saw something fairly early. Oh, hold on, let me get rid of these. You might have saw something earlier, which is down here. You see press blank to join. What I'm essentially going to be doing, what I want to try and do is I want to have it so that it's super easy to be able to join and drop out, drop in and drop out really quickly. I have it sort of working right now, but it's not super reliable. And this is not super intuitive. Like, I don't know what minimum number of players means. There's an auto join feature and stuff, but this is from an old script that I made for Hyperdot. And I'm trying to make a new one that is easier to follow and understand. So that's the goal here, is to make this easier to follow and understand. So we're gonna try and assign everything to the system player. And then I think inside of this, oh, I don't actually even know if I have. Yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't have another script other than this controller join thing. So we're just gonna open this up and check this out. Oh man, yeah. All right, so let me try and familiarize myself with all this stuff. So what we have here is we have, so you can press the join button, which, by the way, if anybody is out there, and one thing that I really want to be able to do that I haven't found the best way of approaching doing so is I want to be able to have a drop down of like strings and stuff rather than having you actually manually putting in the string. So like here I have press the join button and then I have to type in the action name join. I want to have that be a drop down menu where it just looks at all the rewired like inputs that are inside of the rewired manager, and it would just be like, okay, well, here's a enumerated list, or here's a drop down of all the things and stuff. And I know that you can do that. You can do that using the rewired const class. I also understand that this is like super in the weeds, so I apologize. I'll try to speed through this. But I know that you can use the rewired const thing, but this requires you to export this over and over. Like you have to update this anytime that you add a new action. You have to update this, and you might break old things. So I'm looking for something that's a little bit more dynamic, and I want to also be able to have it so that it's not just specifically a rewired thing. Like say that one of the tools that I want to work on is like a color theme tool thing. So like player 1's color is like blue and player 2's color is like red and whatnot. And I want to have like the ability to create new like instance themes inside of the editor. But then when I want to like go to some other script and I want to just be like, oh, I want to say like create this theme, and like it's just a drop down that says player 1 or player 2 or something like that. That's the goal. But if people have ideas / tutorials or something like that I can go and look at to be able to do that, I would love to hear. Okay, so anyway, that very technical thing aside, what I am basically doing is I have a join button. I also I used to have a remove button and whatnot, but I have a join button, and I'm just trying to say, hey, let's join. Hey, assign yourself to the next available player here. So I think this should work, but I want to make this clearer. So this one I do want to actually make an editor script for, because it's not really super clear. Okay, so there's that, and then yeah. So if I move this, oh, this is dead. I have a person called not attributes. He has a method one. Oh, awesome, sweet. I'll have to look into that. Yeah, because that would be really nice. Hey, Abdulwak, how's it going? But yeah, that would be really nice to have that feature, just to be able to be like, yeah, I can type in whatever I want inside of the editor, and now I have a drop down that I can just access and things. Yeah, all right. So, what you up to, Adwa? Okay, so what I am trying to do, yes, this is back. Ooh, this thinks that I am the PlayStation controller. That is not a PlayStation. Last time I checked, this was an Xbox controller. The PlayStation controller is also still, it's just showing that. That's not a good sign. Yep, and the tag is called drop down. Oh, nice. Ooh, okay. Things are acting a little weird. Yeah, it should be defaulting to the system player. Weird. Okay. Okay, well, let's let's restart this. Controller lift. Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it definitely can has noticed. Oh yeah, I'm also noticing that all these things, look at all these errors. It's not good. All right, there we go. That's the right one. That's the right one. And that's the right one. Okay, that was weird. There must be something else that's going on there that I'll need to double check on. But anyway, so now if I press this, yeah, it's broken. So I've pressed the join button and it's not joining. If I move this and press the join button, oh, surprise, surprise, it's not joining. If I press return, it's not joining. So yeah, I'm gonna need to figure that out. All right, so why work? What do you end up using that tag for, the drop down tag for often, if I may ask? Just curious. Assign next player. Why work? So I'm assuming that this assign next player is not actually working. So, okay. I'm also gonna step through this so that I remember how exactly this thing works. All right. So what this script does is, there's a join button. It's just a string. It checks to see if the string actually has a thing in it, and it's not on auto join, which it should not be on auto join. I don't think, right? Yeah, it's not on auto join. That's just so that if you get to, as soon as this is enabled, it'll just assign everything. It'll just assign all the things to a player. But the main thing here is if you press the join button, which it should be the start button or the menu button or the options button, depending on whatever you think, or return, enter, you know what I mean? Depending on the thing, it should run this function, which this function is, hey, assign to the next available player. So it grabs the last controller that pressed the button, which is the button, or the last controller that put in an input, which is the last button, person that pressed the join button. If controller is assigned to, okay, if it is not assigned to a player, I have a convenience function that checks to see whether or not this controller is assigned to a player. If it is not, add that controller. Add the controller to the player. Which is weird. Normally when I have custom IDs for kind of that inspector. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do, is to have it so that, I don't need to go in and edit a script and then be like, okay, now I have a custom tag or something like that. So yeah, that definitely sounds super interesting to me, and I'll go and look that up after this stream because I'll definitely want to know how to do that. But yeah, so it should be saying like, okay, so add the player, and this is the player that was added, and then I have a event that you can like join. And there's it's not a public one. It's just a static one on a controller join event. Okay, so why work? So let's debug. Instead of these debug menus, that is an artifact of hyperdot debug.log. And instead of that, we'll just do this. So it should say design well, we'll see whether or not this is at all running. That's the main thing here that I want to test. And I kind of want to, instead of like automatically assuming that it's gonna be the system player, I kind of want to like utilize and grab this like menu prompt thing that we just went over, and have this be the basis. So like all these things will be like added and changed and whatnot, but it'll have the like this stuff here, or it'll have this here. Well, actually the join code automatically. So I guess it would be more of a convenience function than anything. Anyway, rambling. Okay, I'm pressed. Oh, let me clear all this stuff. Yeah, I know you're freaking out, but we're gonna, bam. Okay, assign. Not been assigned. We're assigning it as player 1. Oh no, we're assigning it to -1. Oh no. Uh-oh. Go to definition. Player number. Next player. Oh, I don't think that this is working. This never. Wait, yeah, no, it should have. Ooh, okay. Okay. So what should have happened is that it should have looked for the next available player. And then it should have returned this, and then it should have been like, oh, is this player number the correct player number? So I'm gonna put in a debug real quick. Log found plus player number. And now we play the waiting game. Oh, there we go. Gotta love all the waiting and the loading. All right, there we go. Okay. Gonna clear this, press this, do this. Player 1. Huh. No, oh, it found -1. This controller, okay, so this is the controller ID. Yeah. That's not the most useful. But player number found was -1. Why did it find -1? Log warning. Oh. That, yep. No more room for players. Okay. Well, then that means, that could mean that they all are already assigned, which that shouldn't be the case. Yeah, they're not all assigned. So in here, there's like a debug menu, and I can go in here and I can just see like, based off of like, is what's assigned to the player 1. No joysticks are assigned there, which would be these things. So yeah, that is interesting. I don't know. From, oh yeah. Okay, well, we'll figure it out. Assign next player. So why are you not finding anything? Is playing. They all should be playing. Let's go close this, and then, are you playing? You're playing. Yeah, you're playing at the start. Wait, is not playing. Ah. You're playing at the start. Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I need to have them not play at the start. If they are not playing at the start, then it'll go, basically what it should be doing is saying, okay, is this player playing right now? Is this player assigned? No. Now you are currently, or you pressing the button to say, hey, I'm currently playing, and then assign this to the player. That's why it should not, or it should work. Well, I guess it wasn't working because I didn't do that. Anyway, so let's see. Let's clear all that stuff. I really need to go figure out what the heck's going on there. Now I press this. Okay, found the button, added the thing. There we go. I am controlling all 4 of these, aren't I? Oh no, now I'm changing these. But that is adjusting for everything, which is not what I want. Okay, well, that's weird. Yeah, these are all specifically for that. Okay, so I'm assuming that this is where all these errors are coming in. Whoa. Okay. So something is not set to an instance object. I'm guessing that it's the layout name, seeing as though the layout text is assigned. Yeah. Yeah, oh, these are not. Why are they? Let's go in here. Layout text. Save that. Ooh. We're gonna revert. Cool. Okay, now we're gonna just play. All right, now we're gonna try this. Press button. Oh, I'm still getting a bunch of errors, but no, it's still controlling all of them. Okay, so then what are the other bunch of errors? Start. Last controller, get last controller type. I'm assuming this doesn't exist. So instead I'm gonna put this in a controller. Oh wait. Let's rename this last controller type. And then put this as last controller equals this. Last controller. There. Oh, I gotta. If last controller equals null, return. Right? Yeah. Oh, this is at the start. I might just by default check to see if there's a joystick plugged in. If so, grab the first one. If not, grab the keyboard. I think I might do that instead of what I'm doing right now. Yeah, because I'm oh no, that's glyph things. Yeah, it's still updating all these other ones. Okay, and it's doing that, and it's doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna do that real quick. Oh. If last equals null, instead of returning, we're gonna say if reinput dot controllers dot joysticks count is greater than 0, last controller equals input dot controllers dot joysticks, and then just get the first one. Else, if re-input, else just last controller dot equals re-input dot controllers dot keyboard. There. Should theoretically solve some problems there. Oh, look at that. There's some warnings. Ooh, some things are never, yes, these things are never used. Oh, and this is never used. What? Okay. Get any button, any player button down is never used. Huh. Oh, all players. Wait, all players doesn't work? So then how did... Oh no. I will go back to that after this. One thing at a time. Okay. Those are glyph issues. That's fine. Do this. And it's still controlling all of these. Gameplay default is correct. Okay, well, it solved. So what I just did, that thing that I just edited. Now these things say gameplay and default rather than whatever the default is, category and layout. That's what that solved. Not the biggest of issues, but now I'm running into some other stuff, and some other stuff is that's some other stuff. Okay, so yeah, I am still currently affecting all of these. It should just be yeah, that's right. So what I'm looking at right now is I'm looking at this map switcher script. What this basically does is allows me to do the whole, like if you look at player 1, I'm able to switch between the different maps that are available in Rewired, and these controller maps tend to be like, oh, you're entering another mode. So like right now I'm currently playing the game, and now I'm inside of the main menu or pause menu or something. Now I'm in photo mode, or now I'm inside of the settings so I can add in a different category and whatnot, customization, all that stuff. It lets me do that, and then it also lets me change the layout. So I could have it so that it's like, okay, well, here's the simplified version, or here's like the southpaw and stuff like that. Like I mentioned right at the beginning. So this stuff, what it should be doing, is it should be showcasing, it should be just showcasing the like current players stuff. But as you can see, I'm updating all these things, and it's updating everybody's. Now I'm starting to wonder, are these at all changing? Like, did I change the player number and the text here? So let's open up this active category, player number. That's the issue. That's why it's not working. It's player number. It's showing player number 1. And I think I remember why I didn't go in and change this, because I wanted to make an easier way to do this, but I never did. So I'm gonna go in here and change this. So basically the issue that I am now coming to figure out is that all this text here It is like player specific, so it's supposed to be saying like, oh, show me the left tab for player 2 rather than show me the left tab for player 1. But because I have to go in here and like do this all by manually, it's fairly annoying to go through and do things, and I wanted to make a easier way to do that, but I never did. And that caused me some problems here, because I was like, oh, this should totally be working, but it wasn't. So I'm gonna just go in here, and you're gonna see firsthand how tedious this will be, which is a great point. Like if you notice that you're doing something very tedious, like you're just doing something over and over and over, but like, you're like, wow, I should be able to like simplify this and not have to do this all the time. That is a great indicator that you could possibly use a tool there. You can possibly either automate it or have some other form of being able to like say like, okay, here's, you know, here's an easy drop down, or here's an easy way of showcasing that kind of stuff. Because yeah, having to, like in this case, me having to go one by one and being like, okay, this is for player 2. Oh yeah, this is for player 2. Oh yeah, this, like I do that all the time. That's really tedious, and it makes it so that you really don't want to work and do like make massive changes. Oh, this needs to have 2 of these. And then you're also error prone. As you can see, like I already made an error, or I almost made an error there. And so having something there to be able to be like, okay, well, I don't have to make nearly as many errors or things. It's kind of the stuff that I want to be able to do. But yeah. Yeah, here I am, as you can see, just filling up these 3s, and now we're moving on to the 4s. And I guess this is a good time to prompt. Yeah, I'd love to hear, yeah, what are y'all thoughts on this format / more in-depth technical thing? Although I feel like I haven't been super technical, because I have been further along in a lot of these things than I realized. But maybe the next one. I know I still have a lot of stuff that I never started, so I definitely will have more things that are more technical streams and stuff. But yeah, I'd love to hear what y'all's thoughts are on the more technical things, whether or not you want to hear me ramble on and on about all these things that I'm working on, or if you want a more sparse input from me, being like blah blah and stuff. I don't know what blah blah means, but you know. Okay, press the play button. Okay, cool. Press this. It's still showing all that. Oh no. Okay, so oh, it's showing player 2 or player 1 here still, which that, oh yeah, that's and that's because of the map switcher, right? So if I go here, where's player 1 or player number used? Player numbers, yeah. Oh, this is not the thing that changes stuff. The thing that changes stuff might be this thing. Player input check. Ah, okay. Player input check doesn't get updated. I can simplify that. Oh, nice. I'm glad that you like the technical things. Okay. So, yeah, I'm realizing what's going on. And I didn't have to go through all that. That figures. The problem is down here below this script here, there's the map input check, which is just another like test script so I can see things. This is the thing that is not being updated. This needs to be in the correct spot. But instead of me going through and updating this, because this is a script and it's not a string, I'm gonna go into the map switcher, and at the start, I'm gonna go, what is it? Map input check, get an array of these. Map inputs, sure, equals get components in children. Include another quick tip. You can include hold on, I should probably first I should fill out this thing. You can say true at the end of this, and then you'll get you'll include all the inactive game objects under your current object, and then go for map inputs. Oh boy, map inputs. Oh, okay, for map inputs. Why map inputs? Sure. Length. Map inputs dot I dot player number equals player number. There. I think I should be able to go and grab this and do this. There. I'll do this in awake because this is setup. I like to do things in awake or setup for like grabbing and assigning variables, and then start for actually changing the variables for the start stuff. All right, so theoretically, now this should work. Theoretically. All right, I press the start, play, and okay, we're getting there, but still not 100% working. I'll go to input check, inputs. There's this inputs action. Huh. Oh, I don't think that this is correct. Inputs. Let's making all these inputs. Oh, that's right. Those are not the things I'm trying to reference. Update check. Check inputs, right. Button down. Puts action, yes. Target player. Yeah, is target player not? Ooh, is the target player not the right player? Oh, it's in awake. And the player number is not assigned. Okay, well. Void. Start. I love how I literally just said, oh yeah, I do all the assigning and awake, and then I do the changing of variables later. Well, hello. My name is a hypocrite. Okay, well, we're gonna just try doing this just to see if this actually solves the problem. And we're okay. Okay, there it is. Cool. Now if I press the play button on this, there it is. It's jumping in. Sweet. I'm gonna ignore the fact that those things are popping in later. And then return, and there it is. Okay, sweet. Okay, so there was just an error with my testing software rather than my actual code. Okay. Okay, well, if that's the case, then I guess we're done. Problems about that. Oh, fix my old stuff. Oh yeah, fix old me. All these things are all about like, oh yeah, back in the day when I first made this was, I thought that this was really clear and easy, and it was not, and it's like super bad. And part of the thing that prompted me to make all of these tools is because with Hyperdot, a lot of these tools like were first made. There were also a couple of tools that were made before this, like in Fingens is also another one that was, I made a lot of these tools. And I was just learning how to do these things, but I ended up carrying those tools throughout all of it, the development there. But like, it became a huge pain to use and a huge problem where I was just like, yeah, this is way too hard to deal with. So then I ended up wanting to actually like make a proper tools library and make it a proper thing that I can just add, like drag into another project, and it just works and I don't have to worry. And it is super, one of the other things that I really want to do is make sure that it's super adaptable to whatever prototype / workflow, because I know that I have my own particular workflow, but I want to make it so that if I join another team or something like that, or let's say like a game jam or something, and they have their own workflow style, it is adaptable enough to be able to be like, okay, yeah, we'll use your version of things, or how you organize all these things, because I don't want to impose my workflow on whoever is using this. I want to be able to have this be adaptable to your workflow, if that makes sense. And that's largely the thing that I've really tried to do with a lot of these things. It's like I've tried to make it so that it is that, but that is fairly hard to do, and it takes a while to do that. All right, well then that means that, yeah, this stuff was working. The join stuff, I love how this was like, this was tangential to what I was originally doing, which is like the join thing, which apparently the join thing is working. I don't think the dropout works, which is, that's a whole nother can of worms that I could theoretically work on. But we are approaching the 2-hour mark. So we'll I think I'll probably hold off on doing that stuff. I'm using you create scripts to reuse on my personal processing idea. Nice. Awesome. I'm not familiar with OpenUPM stuff, but that's really the goal, is to be able to just be like, all right, and here's the tools whenever you move on to a new project, and it's just there. That's really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna probably call it there. Let me double check and make sure that there isn't anything else that I really need to do, because the drop in drop out stuff, I think I might need to also think a little bit more about how exactly you can do that, because the way that it's working right now, if I go here, is that there's just a button, or there's a thing here. And like I said, I think I might want to have it so that I utilize not this one. I utilize this one here. I utilize the menu input stuff. So I just have this stuff, and it just essentially says, okay, and now this stuff works. But I don't know. I need to think about that a little bit more. Yeah. But yeah, I think with that, I'm going gonna call it there. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Oh, to do a little bit of a recap. So what did we end up doing? So first thing that we ended up doing was, aside from like just doing an overview of all the game stuff, is I ended up, what did I end up doing? Oh, right. I ended up figuring out how to like toggle being able to just like have all the controllers be assigned to a specific player or the system player, or just do the auto fill and stuff. So that was a thing. Not really able to, I guess I can show that off by doing, by instead of saying, hey, everybody be a system player, hey, everybody be player 3. And then I go in here and then it's like, oh, hey, look, everybody's player 3. See, you can see that it's lined up. That's in there. Yeah. Sweet. So yeah, that was working. Then I switched gears and worked on the button prompt stuff. Worked on getting the player button tests in here. I don't know why I need to show all these things, but yeah. OmniGear is a manage you register automatically build service. Oh, that's awesome. Creating your own package is awesome. That's really cool. Very cool. Okay, so then you would theoretically, oh, hey Unity, you would theoretically be able to, yeah, just like use the Unity package, not necessarily the package manager, but the Unity, what are they, bundles? When you click export package, it would be similar to that, and then you'd be able to be like, bam, import, and it's all there. That's kind of nice. Anyway, I have a global input prompt thing so that any controller or specific controllers can access this. Although the question here is why, yep, that would make sense because I am now assigned to just players and I'm not assigned to system player. We'll just do all players here because I don't want to do this. Anyway, all the players, and there you go. And we're able to switch between those things. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool that you're able to do that. But yeah, and then the other thing that I just figured out was that I fixed my own testing software, or my own debugging stuff, because that was not working, which caused me to think that something else was not working, which was the drop-in stuff. So being able to press the A button to join those things. But anyway, all right. With all of that said, thanks everybody for hanging out. Yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I felt really like productive, and I got a lot of work done, even though again I felt like a lot of the stuff was already done for me because I already had done this a lot of the work beforehand. So this was more of like buttoning up things. But yeah, no, this was a lot of fun, and I think that I'm going to do more of these. But you can also expect to see a lot more OmniGear development stuff. Specifically, you can expect to see some OmniGear, possibly seeing some art stuff done, maybe Saturday or Sunday, depending on when I get my package for my pen. But that's another thing. But yeah, that's the whole plan, and thanks again for everybody for watching. I am working on a new video. It's not I'm still trying to figure out what exactly the core topic is, but I have a good idea, and I have a rough idea, like outline of what I want to talk about. So expect that in the near future, hopefully. But with all of that said, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll catch you next time.